Thank you. I'd like to start the conversation today about food, and there's certainly never a shortage of those discussions and these workshops over the many years. The one area that I'm interested in is the whole discussion that's come about regarding genetically modified foods. It's interesting because obviously that's come forth from the asking somewhere, but there's a lot of negative momentum going on it about the company that makes it, how bad it is for you. They've got the government in their back pocket. Every country but our country has banned them from doing stuff in their countries, but we're not. We're too slow to get that. And they're running our lives and poisoning our food supply. My ongoing mantra about food is I eat what I love and I love what I eat. But that almost seems naive in the context of this momentum that is going on about the food supply and the horrible catastrophe that could seemingly befall us based on that.
Well, certainly everything we spoke here today would seem naive to people who are looking specifically at unwanted things.
Right.
Because when they get that sort of momentum going, law of attraction will prove out what they expect.
Right.
So the more they look, the more they beat the drum, the more they expect, the more they experience. And the only question that we want to ask you is, do you want to be in on that momentum? And if you don't think about it.
Right.
Because what your question implies is that there is a reality that affects everyone across the board. And that is never, ever, 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 ever true.
But it's easy to see how people could come into that because everybody eats, and everybody eats a lot of things. And if you look at this one company that is the purported villain in this story, they put out a list saying this company provides this much food to all these companies, and it's about a list of 100 companies that are seemingly everywhere on the grocery store shelves.
We are not disputing the facts of the conversation.
Right.
We're wanting to approach it from the vibrational standpoint. Let's start in a more basic place. We know you want to get to specifics, and we do too, but not the same specifics that you want to get to.
Okay.
So let's say that there are many, many, many possibilities on your planet of things that you could eat. And let's say that you were born into an environment where they were already beating a drum. And so they had already attracted around them a lifestyle of eating. And when you were born into that family, that was what was presented to you. Whether you ate at home or whether you ate out, it's just logical. This is the way our family does this.
Right.
So humans, for the most part, are not thinking about overall well-being. They're not thinking about their cellular integrity. They're not thinking about the buoyancy or the flexibility of their body. They're not thinking about the agility or the resonance of their source. In fact, they don't even know that they are vibrational beings mostly. They really think that they're the flesh, blood, and bone being. But they are so much more than that. So now this population is exposed to a variety. But within this spectrum of things to eat, let's say there are 100 families all eating pretty much identically, and yet having different physical responses to what they are eating.
Right.
Because there are other factors involved other than what they are eating. There's a vibrational factor. There is a cellular factor. The cellular and vibrational being very tied together. In other words, we're first wanting to make the point that just because something is for someone, it doesn't mean that it is for someone else. Now let's step into a bigger part of this picture. So here you are in a world that really believes something that we are really wanting to free you from. And what this world really believes is that there are good things, good foods, and bad things, bad foods, and every other subject in the world. That there are wanted and unwanted, that there are good things and bad things. And most of the human species believes that the way to live the perfect life is to figure out which is which, and you argue about that endlessly on every subject in the world. sort it into piles, come to some agreement, which you never, ever, 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 ever do. But theoretically, let's sort it into piles. Let's establish the good piles and the bad piles. And then we will push the bad piles away and we will bring the good piles to us. But you don't do that. You bring the good piles to you and you bring the bad piles to you. Because whatever you give your attention to, you form a vibrational relationship with. So much so that even the most deliberate eater, with the most utmost scrutiny about what they are selecting, actually selects the very things they do not want in their constant beating the drum of I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. And just like look at the fair, the universe says, you thought that was bad, here, try this. At one point, Esther was looking at Luke and he was hanging his head. He was in such discomfort. And Esther wanted to soothe him, but he was sort of unsoothable. And she wanted to explain to him, but he was unexplainable. And the words in her mind were, honey, how you feel is really bringing all this to you. And at that very moment, he tripped over a cover on a cord and skinned his knee. And Esther had to walk away. She just had to walk away because you should not laugh when evidence comes so instantly into your experience. So if you are in a situation where you know this, and you do, and you are witnessing the universe's immediate response to you, it's pretty easy to get it. But in these things that you've been doing for so long, you don't even know if you're doing them, in your quest for good living, the real question is, how much of the vibration that I'm offering about anything, but in this case food, how much of it is really a vibrational match to what I do want, and how much of it is the vibrational match to what I don't want? And all of this outrage, all of this feeling of concern, all of this government conspiracy, all of this, somebody's doing this to me. Luke said those exact words. They don't want me to win. They don't want me to win. And Kate just kept winning and winning and winning and winning. And so if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would have one singular intention, and that is get on that high-flying disc. And from that high-flying disc, you will feel the inspiration that will guide you to the path of least resistance, to the things that you want. But you cannot get there. You cannot get there. You cannot get there any other way, because the conversation that you were delivering to us, factual and obvious and accurate as it was, put you on a disc, a different disc, put you on a different spinning vibrational disc. We call that your grid, your point of attraction. It's the vibration of who you are. It's your point of attraction. Is your point of attraction here, which attracts unwanted things, or here, which attracts more unwanted things, or is it up here? Is your point of attraction, where is your point of attraction? That's your only question. And what does this information, what does this website, how does this website make me feel? That's the only thing you want to ask yourself. Not how true it is, not how many people are having this negative experience, because that information is not helpful to you. The only information that's helpful to you is, what disc am I on? What is my point of attraction? What inspiration will I receive? Because there is no inspiration that says push against that. That's never inspiration. That's always a low spinning disc that makes you feel like that. Is there stuff in this world that is beneficial? Yes. Is there stuff in this world that is not beneficial? Yes. The question is, how do you consistently make your way to the most beneficial? And the way you do that is by working on your vibration and trusting that the source within you and the law of attraction will yield to you, through the path of least resistance, inspiration, obvious, clear, easy to follow inspiration. Well, Esther wants to help Luke understand, because he's just coming into his emotional awareness, and she wants him at this really early stage to understand the importance of those emotions, and nothing else matters. If she could just make the point, see how happy Kate is, see what's happening, see how unhappy you are, see what's happening, that's the point. But humans want to say, no, Abraham, there's more to this. I want to tell you why I'm unhappy. I need to explain to you why I'm unhappy. I need to explain to you the injustices, the wrongdoing, the government in the pocket, the companies making money over the illnesses of others. I want to explain that to you. And we say, there's only one discussion to have. There's that you get from happy and that you get from unhappy. There is no other discussion. There's no other discussion. There is no other discussion worth having. There's nothing else to know. The only thing you got to figure out is how you feel and how you can feel even better, and what to do when you feel good, keep it going, and what to do when you don't feel good, take a nap. That's it. It was hardly worth $195, was it? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all of it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So we've been telling this momentum story for a few weeks now. And we've been saying to you that it really is best when the momentum starts appearing to be not going in the direction of what you want, to do something to break the cycle. Meditation is a very good tool. Taking a nap is a very good tool. Having a good night's sleep is a very good tool. But the most important thing to understand is it's momentum. It's momentum. You're in San Francisco, you're standing at the top of one of those hills, you've got your car out of gear and there's no parking brake, and it's perched right on the hill, and you just nudge it a little from behind and the momentum begins. But you come to your senses early on because you can foresee what's about to happen in this case, wise ones that you are. So you just step out in front of your car and you let it bump up against you, and you don't allow the momentum to get going too far or too fast, and it doesn't, and all is well. But can you imagine what it would be like if you were at the bottom of that hill stopping the car? That momentum would give you a different experience, wouldn't it? So we want you to remember that you're like Luke sometimes, and you're like Kate sometimes, and Kate's like Luke sometimes, and Luke's like Kate sometimes. In other words, these are not permanent personality characteristics. Sometimes the momentum just gets going and it sucks. But when you begin to understand that you can control the way you feel, and that it's not outside circumstances that are controlling the way you feel, and you begin, Jerry used to say, Esther loved this story, that if you're sitting in front of a fireplace in your new cashmere sweater, and there's a chinkapin log on the fireplace and it's spitting like those logs do, and a spark gets on your sweater, if you flick it off immediately, nothing happens to your sweater. But if it lands on your sweater and you say, well, damn, look at that. Who bought these logs? These are the kind of logs that make sparks. This is really a wrong thing. This should not have happened to me. Oh. And then the fire truck comes and we're eager to talk with you